back with one of my favorite people from overseas, and this is Mr. Bill Randall. Good
Good,
morning.
good morning. It's always a pleasure to be in Detroit. You know, it just takes a phone call and I'm here.
I know, and you're here. Well, let's tell the audience in case they don't know, because this is Bill's second time on the show. He's a friend of the show. Tell the audience what you do in Birmingham, England.
I'm a radio presenter. I have a soul music radio show called The Science of Soul.
The Soul Music Radio Show, The
Yep.
Science of Soul.
Yeah, got a long history with Detroit artists. Worked with a lot of people.
When you say that you're a presenter, it's like a disc jockey?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way we talk over
Oh,
here.
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you play mostly soul music.
All soul music.
All soul
All
music.
soul. New, old, anything, as long as it's soulful.
And you took an interest in that when you were young.
Oh, just a young man. Just a very, very young man, which is only a couple of years ago, actually.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but no, it became quite a passion, and you know, it's remained with me and always will.
Oh, that's great. And you were friends with a lot of soul artists. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I've been very blessed to work with a lot of people, you know, on tours with people like Ollie Woodson. You know, who was
The late great Ollie
absolutely
Woodson.
phenomenal singer. And you know, people like J.J. Barnes, who are, you know,
Yes.
Detroit legends.
Right, Orthea's brother.
Exactly, yeah. You know, they may not be people who are superstars around the
I
world.
have
but
his record.
yeah, you know, Baby Please Come Back Home and Real Dinger and all those kind of things.
Right.
So I've been very privileged
And
to work
Edwin
with these people.
Starr, too.
Yeah, I toured with Edwin for many, many years, travelled all over the world with Edwin.
You see, they're using war in a, well, you live over there, but they're using war in a commercial, a car commercial, about these two cars that, I guess the same family have the same type of cars, and they say whoever gets home first cooks or something, and then they start playing war.
Yeah.
And everything.
You know, I think sometimes, you know, that the song has become so commercial that people forget the power that song had when it came out.
Oh, yeah.
If you put yourself back into that time frame,
Right.
that was a very, very powerful statement.
Oh, I know. I was there, you know, and I've seen over the years, even a Seinfeld episode, they used war. What is it good for? They said, you know what, whatever this author's name was, you know what he said about war, didn't you? And they said, what? He said, war. What is it good for? You know,
yeah.
that became just such a part of our topical language here. And it was a very powerful song because the war in Vietnam was going on at the time.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there's a little bit of resistance to Motown getting involved in these political.
But Marvin
these
Gaye
issues.
kind of set the...
He opened the door,
He
big
opened
time.
the door.
Yeah,
Oh, Marvin.
Yeah.
Marvin.
Yeah, he's one of the all-time greats for sure.
You know, I was going down Outer Drive the other day, and I said, oh, that was Marvin's house. We all knew where he lived, but nobody would just go up there. At least I didn't. I didn't have the courage, but we passed by all the time. And once I saw him throwing a football to his son in the front yard and
See,
stuff.
you take all these things for granted being a Detroiter. You don't realize how lucky you were.
Oh,
to come through
I
those
do.
times,
I
yeah.
do, because when you think about the fact that, especially if you went out of town in those days, and you tell people I'm from Detroit, and people automatically say, "Have you ever seen the Supremes?" Oh yeah, I saw the Supremes, which I did.
Yeah.
Because I'll never forget, I worked at Ford Hospital, and they were getting ready to go to Europe, and Florence and Mary came in to get their shots, and I heard they were upstairs. I ran up there, and I said, "Where's Diane?" Because we used to call her Diane back in the day. They said, "Oh, we don't know," you know. But I mean, sitting up and you're looking at these little attitudes.
Yeah.
But you know, Detroit was just a mecca.
Oh, absolutely phenomenal. I mean, for songwriters as well, it wasn't just a question of singers. I mean, if you think of the songwriters, Sylvia Moy, you know, as we mentioned earlier, Whitfield and Strong, Holland Dozier Holland.
Right, and
Ivy Joe
Smokey
Hunter.
Robinson,
Yes, Smokey,
we cannot leave him out.
No, Ivy Joe Hunter, you know.
Ivy Joe, I taught his son,
Yeah.
Keith Hunter.
Yeah.
And in fact, I tried to get Ivy on the show back in June.
He's a hermit.
I know.
Hard
but
to get him out the house.
He used to always come up to the school, and I was just talking about him yesterday because I said, "Oh, hey, Mr. Hunter, it's good to see you." He'd always say, "It's good being seen."
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
that's exactly Ivy. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I promise you, next time I'm in Detroit, I'm going to go around the house, pick him up, and drag him down here,
Yeah, drag him
screaming.
down here, or I don't live too far from him. I know
Hmm.
where he lives,
Mm.
and I would love to see him because he has a lot of musical history. And you know, there's this one thing segment that's on YouTube. This one segment that was taped for CBS, and it has the Temptations singing. Have you seen it?
Yes, yeah,
And Ivy Joe does the count,
yeah.
and it's so. I mean, I look at it every now and then, and when I say every now and then, like every month, I just look at it to hear the temps and to see, you know, Eddie and David and all of them. But I look at it so I can see Earl Van Dyke and I can see James Jamerson on the bass. And I mean, just wonderful, wonderful times and things. And, you know, we used to go past Motown all the time just to see if we could see somebody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so we had
it's
a lot of people, and Detroit still has a lot of talent.
so much talent. I mean, a lot of newer artists, like Kem, for instance.
Oh, Kim, yeah.
Absolutely. From Detroit,
What?
Dwelly. On the neo
Dwelly.
soul, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
on the
Mm-hmm.
neo soul circuit is a
Right.
big name. So it's still making
Tell
great
me
music.
this. I always wonder about this. There are some artists who, okay, they've had a hit or two over here, but then they go overseas and they just become phenomenons overseas. Why is that, do you think?
I think there's so much competition within the United States that a lot of stuff gets lost in the shuffle. There's so much music coming out, but sometimes you'll get Europe where they'll pick an artist. I'll use J.J. Barnes as an example. I mean, J.J. never really had a lot of hits in the States,
Yeah.
but in England, people just love him. They'd just like to see him walk out on stage. You don't even have to sing. He just has to be there. It's
You know, Jimmy Ruffin had a
Jimmy
good
was far more successful in the UK than he was in the
right,
United
right.
States.
Well, his song "What Becomes of the Brokenhearted" is actually one of the songs. You know how we have songs of our life. That's
Yeah,
one of mine.
one of yours.
Not because I'm brokenhearted. It's because the arrangement is so
Mm.
beautiful. Dun
Yeah,
dun
yeah,
dun.
yeah,
What?
yeah, yeah. William Witherspoon and Paul Reiser did the
Oh,
arrangements on
Paul
that.
Reiser, I've been trying to get him on my show. I called him. I have his number. I
Mm.
called him. I'm trying to get him on my show because he's still around and he's still doing fairly well.
Yeah, I mean that guy's phenomenal. When you think of the work he did with Bill Withers, I mean
Yes,
people forget that they didn't just work with Motown artists.
they work with
They
other
w-
artists.
because they were the best of the best.
Right.
So if somebody's making a new album, oh, who's that guy in Detroit? Paul Reiser. Yeah, he needs to do the strings.
Well, I listen to a lot of I listen to a lot of old music. I gotta confess, I do, and on my phone is a lot of oldies. But I love Motown. I'm not living in the past. I just like the music, and I love arrangements.
Yeah.
And you could always hear that tambourine. You know, it's just a simple thing like that.
Yeah.
And they used to improvise on a lot of those musical.
Yeah, they were very creative people, and they didn't have the big $1 billion budgets and
Right.
and all this, so they had to make do with what they got.
So what does that tell you?
Tells you creativity is more important than technology.
Oh, golly. Yeah, you're right. It's more important than technology. And then when you look at the fact that one thing I liked about Motown, and you could pick it up when you listen to Mary Wells and so forth, the group there another group, it could be the Temptations or the Supremes, they'll be in the studio and they'll be singing background.
Yeah,
There are
yeah.
a lot of times these
Yeah,
groups, the
yeah.
originals sang background.
Oh, that's one of the greatest groups of all time. I mean, the originals: Freddie Gorman, Hank, Walter, and CP. Yeah, they were phenomenally talented people.
You know, the funny thing about the originals, though, there was a song, Baby I'm For Real.
Mm.
I just never could get with that song. But it was a big hit. I always wanted them to have a hit, but I couldn't get with that particular song. You know, there was a song by the Supremes that actually was one of my favorite ones. It was Come See About Me.
Yeah, that was a great song, wasn't it?
It was a great song. And
Yeah.
Baby Love.
Yeah,
There's something hitting.
Oh, you want the dance floor, don't you? You don't want all the subtle stuff.
I know, I
Yeah,
know.
you just want to be shaking out there.
I know. we were bopping and we were slow dancing and all of that. So you're here for the Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame.
Yes, I am. Yes,
And it's sold out.
This Sunday. Yeah, going to be a great occasion.
I will be there.
I shall be seeing you there then,
Yeah,
of
I
course.
know. We'll see each other there. That's going to be great. And our own R.J. Watkins and Henry Tyler, they're going to be inducted. Marvin Willis and James, I always call him Doom. James Mitchell.
Yeah, James Mitchell. Yeah. Everybody knows James is Doom.
Yeah. And, you know, from Detroit Emeralds. I mean, just so many
Yeah,
people.
Pat Lewis.
Pat Lewis. Wonderful
Gosh, yeah,
Pat Lewis.
That is a lady with some history.
Yeah, she is, and she'll be there, and I know you'll be excited
Yeah.
to see her.
Oh, I love Pat.
I'm just
Yeah.
going to be a voyeur. I'm just going to
Yeah.
be watching.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah, they're just going to be watching because this is the first year the induction is here. And I didn't know. I was kind of scared. I said, I don't know how much reception they'll get. I don't know who all's going to come and so forth and so on. And I was so happy to hear that it was sold out.
I think it's exceeded all expectations.
Do you have people over there who listen to your show who have favorite artists and they request these artists?
Yes. I mean, I used to do a listeners' request section in my show, and where people could pick three songs that they particularly loved. I still do it periodically, but you know,
What
Detroit
are some
is
of
very.
the favorite songs that people in England like? They like soul music.
They love soul music, particularly the '60s soul music. I mean, a lot of people are really pleased that Tony Clark has been posthumously.
Do you know? Yes.
You
And
know,
do you know
Gino has done so much work.
My friend, she passed away a couple of years ago and everything. And we were friends for a while, and then she told me, she said that she didn't live here when she passed away, but we were good friends. And she said, yeah, my dad was Tony Clark. And when I saw Tony Clark's picture on the flyer, I said, God, he looks. She looked just like him.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Gino, his son, has been instrumental in raising Tony's profile.
Oh, I'm so
He's done
happy.
a fabulous job.
Oh, he was. We loved him.
Yeah.
Was he the entertainer?
Yeah, you're the entertainer.
Entertainer.
That's just one of those classic songs,
I
isn't it?
know, I know. And back in those days, if your guy or something, you were riding around Detroit and they had reverb in their car and you'd blast it out. And I remember when the Isley Brothers were with Motown for a little bit. One of my favorite, another song of my life is This Old Heart of Mine.
Yeah, Sylvia Moy did the lyrics for that one.
Oh, have you ever really listened to the arrangement of that?
Yep.
Because while they're singing This Old Heart of Mine, the background is singing This Heart of Mine's Weak for You.
Yeah.
Heart of Mine's Mad About You. I mean, I don't know how I admire musical people for being so creative with their arrangements.
It was incredible that so many creative people came together at one time.
Yes.
You know, if Berry Gordy had a strength, it was the fact that he knew how to put people together, put the right people together to get the right finished product.
Now, this group came along in the early 70s, the Dramatics. Do you ever?
That's my boys.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I miss Ron every single day.
Good. Such a good friend of mine.
yeah,
I mean,
knew Ron many years.
just such a good friend, and had been by with his son just a matter of a few months before he died. And I mean, we were just really, it just was such a shock.
Yeah.
Such a shock. But yeah, the songs that they did. And I was just talking to somebody about it the night before last because, Hey You, Get Off My Mountain.
Yeah.
Toast to the Fool.
And I panicked.
Oh, how did you know that was my favorite?
That's the thing.
I panicked and cried.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I panicked and
Yeah,
cried.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of you out there have favorite songs from back in the day, but they stood the test of time.
Absolute classic material. I mean, Tony Hester was their
Tony Hester,
predominantly
yes.
their main writer.
He was their main writer at the beginning and stuff like that. And I'll never forget one of Ron's, a year after he died, I did a kind of retrospective on him. And one of his best friends, Harley Brown, was here. And he was talking about the first time they heard the song on the radio.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, that must
how
have been-
excited and everything that they were. And Ron wanted to make a dramatics movie, you know, and the thing about it was Snoop Dogg was interested in
Big
playing.
fan.
He's a big fan because his mother loved the Dramatics. I mean, and he had them in his video. He had the Dramatics.
Yes,
in
that's
his
right. He did. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Another group that I'm just throwing these groups out. The Contours.
Yeah, they were just in. I was with the Contours last weekend. They were in the UK.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I was going to say.
yeah,
I
they,
thought you were.
yeah, they did the Skegness Soul weekend. We had a real Detroit influence on that. We had the Contours, Miss Kim Weston.
Kim Weston.
Yeah.
I want to meet her so bad.
Oh, I wish I'd have known. I would have got Kim here this morning for you.
Oh my God, I want to meet her
Oh.
so bad because there were so many songs that she had when I was young. A Thriller Moment. Do you know?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I used to play that till the. We used to say till the record
Yeah.
was hot. A Thriller Moment.
Yeah.
It was it was on the little 45s and we just play it around until the record turned white.
Yeah.
Back
Yeah.
in the.
Yeah.
Oh, I want
Well, I'll
to
talk
meet
to
her
Kim and
so
we'll
bad.
need to get her in on your show.
Do you think
'cause
she's coming on Sunday?
she told me she was. She said she's sitting by me. I've offered to marry her a million times.
Oh,
She,
Lord.
she keeps turning me down. She says no.
I'm happy that she's still singing.
It's still sounding great.
And so it was her, it was the
the
Contours.
Velvelettes.
Oh,
And it's the original Velvelettes.
I'm really saying something?
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah, needle in a haystack, and these
Needle.
things will keep me loving you.
Yeah.
You know, they were brilliant. And who else did we have? We had Prince Philip Mitchell.
I don't know him.
He's absolutely phenomenal songwriter and singer. He wrote stuff like "Hurt So Good" for Millie Jackson, "Home Is Where the Heart Is" for Bobby Womack. He was a phenomenal songwriter down in Muscle Shoals.
Yeah, we lost Bobby Womack last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, the last time I saw Bobby was at the Fox Theatre in Detroit.
Really?
That was the last time I saw
You
Bobby.
get to the Fox Theater more than I do. Well, you know, the thing about Bobby Womack was I still have my Valentinos record, Looking for a Love. And he was the leader of the Valentinos at
that's right.
that time. And but I saw an interview with him where he said sometimes he just thinks of the first few words coming out of his mouth and then he puts that as the lyrics when he's addressing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was an amazingly talented guy, Bobby, and I
And
think.
songwriter
Yeah,
and
yeah.
singer, and we just
But you know, they never really die. They just leave a legacy for us to enjoy and to pass on. It's our responsibility to preserve this history.
yeah, I know. It's funny. I have a daughter who's 37, and she listens to the Platters.
Yeah, yeah.
She listens to a lot of the old groups. She said, "Mom, did you like Earth, Wind, and Fire?" She comes to me thinking she's telling me something new, and she'll say, and she on her Pandora she has the dramatic dramatic station.
Yeah, yeah.
And
The scary thing is we don't think of those as old groups, do we?
No.
That's the scary thing.
No. You know, and I think for her, it's just exciting because she like grew up with Ron Banks and his family
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
like that and stuff because when she was born, we moved into a subdivision and Ron Banks lived right down the street. So he'd ride by and his daughter and my son was the same little age and they grew up together. It was just friends and stuff. And it was funny. I could tell you this. I used to teach at the high school right down the street, Highland Park Community High School. And Ron Banks and the Dramatics would walk up there to my room, my classroom, and they did a charity event there and everything. Just nice.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the greatest times of my life was Ron invited me to United Sound Studios.
Oh, yes.
When they recorded their Christmas album.
Over on 2nd.
Yeah, they recorded the Christmas album.
Right.
And when I hear that now, I think, oh, yeah, I was there when that was actually recorded, you know.
Now,
LJ and
tell
Ron's.
me this. I think this. Okay. Simply Red, Lady in Red. I think that Ron Banks did a better job with with Lady in Red.
Yeah, Ron can do no wrong.
I know. And one day he came by my classroom at my other school because he wanted to give me some information. And he came by and I said, I told my students, high school students, I said, this is Ron Banks, the Dramatics, what you see, what you get. You know, I'm trying to do this and they look all puzzled, you know. And I said, Ron, hit some notes for me. And he'd do that. They'd be up there like that, you know.
Yeah.
And but a lot of great groups, even let me do, I think he passed away. He did pass away. Emmanuel Lasky.
Yeah, Emmanuel Lasky passed away
I
a few
need
years ago.
somebody
Yeah, yeah.
to stand
These
by
are
me.
legendary names from Detroit, you know, and people in the UK actually know about people like Emmanuel Lasky. You know, which is quite phenomenal. You can speak to a lot of people in Detroit who don't even know about
Well,
Emmanuel
Betty
Lasky.
LaVette performs all over
She's
Europe.
all over. Yeah, she's a very big and
Oh, she,
very respected artist.
oh, she is very, very, very
Mm.
respected. In fact, I think I read on her Facebook page she was going out of the country this week or something. But I want to contact her. I'm going to write her,
Mm. Mm.
because she has a book of mine. Oh, this happened about 15 years ago. Um, I was someplace, I did some poetry, and I had one of the books I had then, and I gave it to her, and she called me and she said, I can make some of these poems songs,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was reading your book the other day again. Some
Well,
great stuff in there, you know.
thank you very much. I mean, just right. You're just right. And in fact, we have the album. You heard a little bit of it.
Yeah.
We pretty soon in the next few weeks we'll have that ready for you to play, and for we're going to start playing it here, and we'll talk about it a little later. Marvin Willis gets mad. He said, Brenda, you never talk about your album, but we did that like 20 years ago, but it has stood the test of time. Also, I just thought about Marvin Gaye again, because one of the albums that I think is just legendary is the I Want You album.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Leon Ware was the songwriter on that one.
Golly, you know
Yeah,
these writers.
and actually Leon had actually put down all the tracks and was going to do the album as an album on himself as the follow-up to his musical Massage album. Marvin heard the songs and says, no, I want that album.
But also, so wonderful on it, he sang background
Mm,
on it.
mm.
I mean, he did such a great job singing background. But there were so many great songs and so many great arrangements. Who arranged Marvin's songs?
There was quite a few. I mean, Paul Reiser did a lot of the strings, David Van der Pitt. Um, you know, he utilised a lot of creative people who was around him. And I think that was Marvin's strength. He didn't try to do everything himself. He utilised the talent that was there. A lot of artists can sometimes get caught up in thinking that everything they do is right. And sometimes it's not. You know, and it's not always good for them to cut themselves off from other creative people. If you continue to be around creative people, I think it brings the creativity out from you.
I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever seen Smokey Robinson in concert by himself?
Yeah, many times.
He gives a great concert.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I first heard his first record, I think I was in 6th grade.
Yeah.
I'll shop around.
Yeah, I mean, Smokey's living history. You know, and that's the reality of it. If you talk about popular music, you cannot help but talk somewhere about Smokey Robinson.
Right.
Whatever your musical preference, Smokey's had an impact on
And
everything.
he pulled from different sources, because like Tears of a Clown, when he talks about just like Pagliacci did, I keep my sadness hid, smiling in the public eye, but when I'm all alone, I cry. The Tears of a Clown, he had learned about Pagliacci in his class at Cass Tech.
Yeah.
You know.
And you see, you as a poet would really grasp Smokey's lyrics, because they were pretty much poetry with music.
Right, but even when I wasn't, even when I was a kid, when he did, I'll try something new. I'll build you a castle with the towers so high that reaches the moon. Or songs for other people. My guy, my girl.
Did you ever hear the Supremes and Temptations version of
yes,
I'll Try Something New?
Of course I do. Who are you talking to?
Just love that to death.
I have so much music. I even have on DVD. I have a Smokey Robinson concert. I have Marvin Gaye at Montreux. I have anything Marvin Gaye did live on DVD. I have it.
Did you ever meet Frankie, Marvin's brother?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I tell you what, they were so alike.
Really?
You'd be talking.
He passed.
Yeah,
Didn't he?
yeah. But you'd be talking to Frankie, and you'd think it was Marvin. They sounded that much alike, and they looked alike as well.
Really?
Mm.
Marvin Gaye was a beautiful looking man.
Oh yeah, stunning man. Yeah.
Stunning. Stunning. I remember being in the first row of the first Motown review.
You're just a groupie.
Well, no, I wasn't a good groupie because I never. If I was a groupie, I wasn't a good one. But I remember Marvin Gaye, what he had on, and he was doing. What was that? I going to Chicago.
Hitchhike.
Hitchhike.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what he did. Hitchhike.
And Martha and the Vandellas sang the backgrounds on that, you know.
Yes, I know. You could hear them.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the great thing. If you know the voices of the
You
Motown
can pick 'em
artists,
out.
you can
Yeah.
pick them out in those
Yeah.
background
Yeah.
singing.
Yeah.
Because I think the Temps backed up Mary Wells.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, God.
And I think one of Motown's most phenomenal background singers is going to be there on Sunday, Louvain Demps
Oh, of the
of the Andantes. Yeah, I
Oh,
think Louvain's going to be there.
Andantes,
Yeah,
right, right.
yeah.
They were great background singers.
They sang on thousands of songs. I mean, thousands.
Wow. And I'm going to say this before, oh God, it's about that time before I go, but I'm going to go back to the Platters real quick. I find history of songs. How did people write these songs? I think it was The Great Pretender. And the guy who wrote that, I guess the Platters had made one side. And so they said, well, we need another song for the other side. And he went in the bathroom and he wrote the song.
Yeah.
Came
Yeah.
back out and they did it.
Yeah, that's creativity.
Some of
isn't it?
these songwriters are just phenomenal.
Two of the greatest Platters songs, "Washed Ashore" and "With This Ring,"
Oh,
were
yeah,
written.
with this one.
Yeah, were written by Popcorn Wiley from
Really?
Detroit.
Really?
And when Popcorn was telling me when he wrote "With This Ring," he wrote it with the Four Tops in mind, but he couldn't get the song to the Four Tops. Platters sang it.
That's amazing. The Four Tops, I don't know how we didn't talk about them. Their voices.
Oh.
I mean, Levi Stubbs had the
Truly
voice.
irreplaceable.
Truly.
Truly.
And somebody told me, they said one of the best performances they loved by him was The Plan in Little Shop of Horrors. He was wonderful.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was just a great guy.
Well, Bill, we have reminisced the heck out of
Oh,
this.
we did.
know.
Yeah, I forgot what we came to talk about.
I
now.
know, I couldn't help it. But Sunday is the Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame, and I will be there. I'll be taking pictures of people and
Yeah.
everything like that.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be massively fun, and the tickets are sold out, everybody. So, we told you about them first here. So,
I will be presenting an award to Edwin Starr's son, Andre.
you're going to present?
Yeah, because Edwin was inducted in 2013. Well, Lamont called me today and said, would I present the award
Oh,
to
fabulous.
Edwin's son, Andre? So that's
Well,
nice.
great. It's great seeing you
It's
again.
always a pleasure to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back next week with Table Talk, the regular Table Talk, and my show next week. So I will see you next week. You have a beautiful weekend, and don't get too cold out there. It's getting cold here.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.